And we're live. Welcome, everybody. Oh yeah, thank you, Elena. Yeah, I don't mind getting support. I just, like I said, I don't want to step on toes. I'm not that person. I just, I know that there's enough time and space for everyone, so I tried to carve out the late night hours. But I know there's also a late night crew, so I let them go and do their thing. I just do my little thing over here. But yeah, this is episode 5. I've been basically doing these just hanging out and chilling and talking to people or whoever is in the comments talking. And if anybody jumps in, I had one episode that Alpha Tyler was in, and Jim and J was in, and then the last episode, Jim and J was the only one in. That's cool, Denise. Morning, Mandy. And if you want to give Mandy a mod privilege, if you can, I'm not exactly sure how that works, giving, managing, or administrating mod privileges, what they're allowed and what they're not allowed to do. That's cool, Denise. Okay. I have to give Mandy that later. It's all good. So, one of the things that we're going to talk about today, I told Nefarious in a comment of a video he posted, he doesn't understand the non-binary, using finger quotes, people. It's all good. It's all good, Mandy and Elena. It's all good. Like I said, the link to the StreamYard should be pinned if anybody wants to jump up and chat. But yeah, I watched Nefarious's rant video, and he was going off about the transgender movement and the LGBT because he has room to talk on it. But he went ahead and he had mentioned that he didn't understand the non-binary. So I told him, as devil's advocate, I can explain it, and that basically non-binary is they feel that there's two genders that make up the binary genders, that you have male and female. That's the O and the one of binary, and that they feel that they are non-binary, so they're somewhere outside of being a man or a woman. They just don't know what they are yet. To me, it's a mental illness, but that's just my opinion, and I hope that they kind of explains it for people that are confused about it. Hey, Lori. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the support. Always down. Y'all got something going on tonight? Cool. Probably getting ready for bed though. Yeah, man, it is kind of weird. There's a lot of stuff that back when I was growing up would have been considered mental illness that people go and talk about doing and everything in this day and age that, I just don't get. The non-binary being one of them.
Hey Jay,
Oh, hello, guest. What's up?
how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it started out. I
Go
started
ahead.
out because I watched Nefarious's rant, and I told him in the comments that I could play devil's advocate and explain non-binary to him. Don't completely agree with it, but I can explain it.
I think he's got a pretty good grasp on it. He likes just poking the bear because he
Oh
gets so
yeah, I
much
know.
hate from the 1% of the, you know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying?
Oh
So
yeah.
he likes to just, they came
Oh, I
after
know.
him trying to cancel him. And I think he gives it really good back. So
Right.
sorry, my
Well, I've
grandson
known
was sick
Nefarious
all weekend.
for forever, and I know how he is.
Yeah.
And for him to be going at the LGBT community being openly bi or used to be openly bi, I don't know if he's changed his mind now or
No,
not, but
he's
it's
openly still.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me that's hilarious because he gets those trolls coming in and wanting to talk shit, and it's like you don't even know who.
Uh-oh. Jay, I don't know. I think that's you.
What?
You froze. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Nope, you keep cutting in and out. Okay, it is you cutting in and out. The chat said. I thought so. I was like, what happened to you? Yeah, they come in after Neff and he's like, and he'll play with him for a while and he's like, dude, you know what? I like pussy and I like dick. What you gonna do about it?
Right.
And they can't, they just kind of dumbfounded because he has a right to feel his way. And some people, they don't need it to be loud and out there in everybody's faces. They just want equality. And I agree,
Right.
equality. But when you get it, some people try to take it 10 steps forward. They want
Right.
now you to suffer and be a minority and go through what they did. And it's like, how do you, when we, the ones of us today that fought for equality, we weren't from the past, so you don't have a right to stifle us because of what the past did. We helped bring you to the future or to the present, so just be happy.
Right. Can you hear me
So
better now?
yes.
All right. Yeah, I turned off my Wi-Fi since I'm outside. But
Ah,
yeah, yeah, it's hilarious. I've known Nefarious for almost 5 years now. Just as long as I've known Dan and HBR and Jacksonville
Holly.
Joe and
Yep.
Holly, and then yeah,
So when did you meet Triple T?
um, that was probably about a year or two ago.
Okay.
Um, I was following um Jess at the time, changed her name to Luna, um, or Lunatic or whatever,
Yeah.
and I was following her around, and she talked about Triple T being, military, and I like to support the military because my dad was career Air Force, retired for with 21 years in. So I went there and I met Alpha Tyler, and I've been rocking with Alpha Tyler's community ever since. And you know, I was there for him and Tim's argument and fight and all, and I just tried to stay out of it, but I ended up gravitating more toward Alpha Tyler and hanging out with him. But since they, mended bridges, I've decided to come back around.
Well, that's good. I first saw, I kept hearing JJV's name
Right,
everywhere, from who. I just kept like,
right,
who is this JJV? And I was
right.
in there supporting Alpha one day and I saw
Hmm.
him and I was like, hey, are you like, because it said Jason JV. I was like, are you the one known as JJV, that had once upon a time beef with Triple T? And he kind
Hmm.
of came and he was like, yeah. no offense, I'm his wife, and I just wanted to say it's nice to put a name to, I've heard about you for so long, but I've never known. And I says, it's nice to meet you. And then he was like, oh, okay, well, hey, how's it going? And I was like, you need to start coming back around. The past is the past, and it's time to move forward.
Yeah, what's funny about that whole situation was when Alpha and Triple T had their fight. There was two people that one stayed on Triple T's side and one stayed on Alpha's side, but stayed neutral and would basically talk to each party and all that. And that was Dan stayed at Triple T and I stayed at Alpha, but me and Dan stayed friends and talking and tried to somehow bridge the gap if they would, and they finally did. So we basically came back around each other and everything else.
And see, what's funny is the one between JJV and Triple T was outside source. It was
Right.
Tim was protecting somebody, and JJV, and I understand people do that, and to
Mm-hmm.
me, in one part, we got to let people just handle their own business. And
Right.
now in a relationship, I'm always going to have Tim's back because he
Right.
doesn't he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get the receipts like I do. So I
Right.
want to protect him because he's busy at work, and people throughout the day are going to talk their shit on him, and I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to put the facts together. And the one thing I do not believe in is I don't want to falsely accuse somebody. I don't want to put out something half heartedly. I want to
Right.
be able to put, this is what you said and this is what you really said, and I want to
Mm-hmm.
just, so he goes a little off the cuff. I don't like that. I like to be known that, oh shit, Lori said this, and you know damn well. I don't even, if people joke, they're like, oh God, here come the receipts. You're damn right. I'd rather be known for facts over fiction and lies any day.
Yep.
And I know that it doesn't really matter on the YouTube if you have facts for a lot of people, but you know what? That's how I am in real life. I don't want to falsely accuse somebody unless,
Right.
if you said it, I'm going to take you at your word. I don't give a shit if you come back and say, "Oh, I misspoke." How many times are you going to misspeak? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So,
And that's what I kept telling Dan and pretty much anybody that's been a troll. I've been like, the internet is not real. It's not real
no.
life. So if somebody's talking about you in real life, people talk about you behind your back all the time. You just don't find out about it, and if you do, you usually confront them. So that's what you should do is you should go behind the scenes, confront the person, decide if you can mend the bridge or if you just ignore each other and go your separate ways and leave it at that and don't even bother looking at their content because even if they say that they won't, they're probably going to talk about you. And
Yes,
if you don't say their name, they're not going to talk about you. So you should leave it at that. And I'm the kind of person where if my friends are beefing, I sit back and I watch both sides. That's
exactly.
why I'm a big fan of Menace with MTP that people don't understand because, he's always being abrasive and telling people that he don't need them and everything else when he does. He knows he does. He just
Yes, he
doesn't
does.
want fake people around him.
Yep. Do you know what I like is that I think one of the reasons that the Triple T community has stayed strong for 4 years, honestly, is because we there's only been three confrontations that have had to be that are family who have like stabbed people in the back and had to be called
Hmm.
out or came at the family. But for the most part, everybody talks to each other behind the scenes. Everybody
Right.
knows everybody. We all have everybody's numbers. And if we have a problem with somebody, we do a private StreamYard or we call each other on the phone and we
Yeah.
literally tell them, hey, you are effing up. They're
Right.
not afraid to tell Tim. Well, some are, but they'll come to me. And I was like, don't worry, I'm taking care of it. I agree with you, and I'll let Tim know, hey, you're messing up, and I've had to call him out on in lives too sometimes. But
Hmm.
I think that if everybody handled there are several different communities. Let's be real. You have
Right.
this team and this team and this team.
Hmm.
Well, if everybody wanted the strength, I do think there are jealousy because of it's not that Triple T commands anything from anybody, no loyalty. It's that he
Right.
gives it.
Oh,
And
that's what I
the
tell people all the
respect.
time. Is to get respect, you have to earn respect. You have to give the respect back. And to be a
Yeah.
friend, to have a friend, you have to be a friend.
Yeah.
So
And you
that's
don't
what I
have to
tell people all
put,
the time.
you can help people too, and you don't have to put it out there to let people know that you've helped people.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
and you know what's funny is Roland made a comment one time. He says, "You don't understand that Lori puts in a lot of time behind the scenes to keep the peace."
Right.
And I do. And
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot, but things can be misstrued, words get
Mm-hmm.
misunderstood. And if I see something and I know something, I will definitely try to reach out to both parties and be
Mm-hmm.
like, look, I saw
It,
this. This is where I think it's coming from. Please give this person a chance. You guys need to talk. I'd rather
yeah.
do this than there's so much hate that for the
Mm-hmm.
little shit, squash the little beefs because you're always
Yeah.
going to have the big ones that come at you to try to cause drama. Why always go after all these little things that don't even matter in real life
Yep.
to you?
Yeah, but I tell people all the time with like texting and all that. I may say something in a text that rubs people the wrong way.
Yep.
If somebody takes offense to something I say, come and talk to me about it because I may not even realize that you were offended. So if you come and talk to me, then I can explain where I'm coming from on it.
Yeah.
And I also tell people that if I put LOL or a laughing emoji or something behind something that I say, that means I'm joking and it's not meant to be taken serious.
Well, there was somebody that I consider a friend in our community, and we just a misunderstanding, because I type faster than they type.
Hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
already three questions ahead or three comments ahead of one of their questions, or vice versa. If they're faster than I am or whatever, or I'm
Right.
busy and
Hmm.
it led to something, and we
Oh, yeah.
both were misunderstanding. And finally I was like, look, we need to just talk. I'm going to
Right.
call you, but I need an hour. And they're like, I don't think it'll make a difference. And I'm like, yes it will.
Hmm.
We're so far behind on the chat that we can't get the dialect of what the other person's trying to come across. Let's
Right.
both cool down, we'll call each other. And you know what we did an hour later, and I think we're doing a lot better now because there's that better understanding.
Right. And that's something I always tell people is conversation leads to understanding. You may not solve your differences, but having a conversation with the person that you have a difference with makes you understand where they're coming from. So
Yeah.
you know whether you can, be friends with them, be social with them, or just have nothing to do with them.
See, like, be honest. When I'm texting, I text in Chinese because my fingernails get in the way. And every time I'm trying to hit a T, it's a damn R or the Y
Oh
on
yeah.
each side of the T. And I'll be typing and I type fast, like my brain's going and I know what I want to say. And I'll just be
Hmm.
typing because I'm used to typing so many words per minute on a computer keyboard. So I'm on my phone texting and I don't use
Hmm.
spell check my damn nails.
Oh
So
yeah.
everybody tells me I text in Chinese. Well,
Yeah.
I do. And so sometimes they don't understand. And so it takes them a minute to figure out what I'm trying to say.
Oh
So
yeah.
I tell everybody, I'm the type that if I hurt your feelings, you can bet unless we're going at it, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but if you think
Right.
I did, reach out. I am a big enough person that if I did it, I'm going to apologize. I've apologized to people I can't stand on here, but if I misconstrued something, I will be a big enough person. I'm confident in myself and love myself enough that I will apologize if I've done something to somebody to hurt your feelings. Even an
Right.
enemy, I will apologize because
Right.
it only takes 1 second to say you're sorry if you're wrong.
Right. Well,
Now, if
see, that's
I'm
the
right, I will never apologize to you. Not one
yeah.
day in
See,
hell.
yeah. See, that's one thing with me though is I try never to say that I'm sorry to anybody because early on in my career as a cook, I
Hmm.
had a chef tell me when dealing with a customer, you never say you're sorry. You always say I apologize. And when I asked him why, he goes, "Okay, let me explain it to you this way. Say I'm sorry to me." He was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." He goes, "I know you are. Now apologize."
Mm-hmm.
So ever since then, it's like, okay, let me say I apologize instead of, I'm sorry. But on the texting thing, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have nails, but I also misspell words a lot because my spelling sucks. Autocorrect will end up putting the wrong words in for me, and certain words that I go to type out. It's like if I go to say all, it'll say SLL instead of ALL
Right.
because they're right next to each other, and my keyboard gets fucked up that way on my phone
I think a
because I
lot
type
of
so fast.
yeah, I think a lot of misunderstandings are when you've got a chat. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if there's 15, the more people you get in your chat, you go from 10 to 30. And the way sometimes the chat flies by and see, I don't either, just Mandy. And sometimes it goes slower. I always try to make it a point to greet everybody individually. I might have to slow the chat down, pause it, go scroll back up and memorize names. But instead of
Right.
doing it in a big group, I always try to give that personal, like, hey, Denise, hi, Mandy, hi, Jay, hey, this, hey.
Yep.
And, and even
I've
when
seen
there's
that
a
on your
hundred,
life.
yeah, I don't care how many there are. I will always try to address individually. If I can't do individually, I'll just put, look, guys, I can't type everybody's name, so I'm just going to say hi all to everybody and go. Because if I can't do it individually, I don't want to do one blanket. So I don't want to skip anybody if I'm in the middle of something and I'm just watching and I just happen to say something in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that personal one-on-one is what makes us good content creators, is how we
Right.
engage people. And I can't look you
Mm-hmm.
in the eye, but I could damn well say your name and let you know
Right.
that you matter and I appreciate you being in my chat.
Yep.
And that's just, and I always try to support the people who support me. So when
Mm-hmm.
you go on, honestly, usually I'm live.
Mm-hmm.
So or something's going on. But my grandson was sick all weekend and I had to call his dad to pick him up early with 103 over 11 vomitings. They took him to the emergency room Sunday. He has a very contagious strand of the flu,
Ouch.
um, with throat irritation. So they did a test to make sure it's not strep, but I was warned. Well, all day today, I've had the scratchy throat and
Mm.
the nausea. And so, but with all the drama, honestly, if you notice, I've been offline.
Yep.
I
Yep.
just, I don't mind when they come at me putting out receipts, but there's so many receipts. I don't have time and I don't have the desire or the energy to want to deal with people to go through hours of your hate and find
Right.
clips that I need to prove how bad of a liar you are. You're just
Right.
not worth it. And
Well,
it used to be satisfying. Now it's just stuck on rinse and repeat. And I
right.
just don't want to be part of that anymore.
Yeah. And it's like I've told people before with, moron, as I like to call him, and him talking shit about people, is like all you have to do is address it once and let people make up their own mind to whether they think he's telling the truth or you are. You can show
Yeah.
your receipts in that one time that he's lying and leave it at that. And that's what I respect about, like, especially you and Tim and Alpha, is y'all will address any kind of drama and squash it as quickly as possible and move on.
See, there's a lot of people that Tim was beefing with for the last year or two, and I got receipts and I reached out to
Right.
him and I talked to him and I was like, you say I'm the smart one, or I'm more observant. I said, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to put this out there. A, B, C, and D. Can you tell me the rest of the alphabet that I might have on you? So this is what I'm going to tell you. You and Tim are never going to be friends. Go your separate ways.
Right.
Drop the drama. I think you might have
Mm-hmm.
liked one each other, but you guys have let all the drama get between you guys, and now there's nothing left but animosity.
Right.
So you go your way, you go your way, and I will make sure that Tim doesn't know what I have on you. And
Right.
I've done this quite a few times. There's people
Mm-hmm.
that you used to see beef with every few months that you haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
I would rather maybe not make friends, but at least put an end to it. Like I was
Right.
so happy when Johnny Gobble tried to do right and was ending the beef with everybody.
Right.
Some just
Yeah.
addicted to the drama and they never will. But there are the few
Yep.
that want to. They want to get out of it, and that's my goal. I will have
Right.
enough on you. It's not to blackmail you, it's to let you know this is what I could have done, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be this person. So please don't make me.
Yep. Right.
So,
And you never know who you're beefing with online, other than if you do a background check on them, and that
yeah, I
can
don't
be
believe that.
expensive if you do that. So
When
it's one of
Tim
those things.
jokes, when Tim jokes, "Oh, I paid for a background check." If it's $1 or $1.99, Tim
Yeah.
he's done it once. But he'll make it sound like he's done it, but he hasn't. Sometimes it's to get under people's skin. But see, that's
Right.
another thing is I don't even like the jokes like that to get under people's skin. I just want facts. So
Right.
sometimes I don't even see eye to eye with my own husband because
Right.
I don't agree. I just think there's ways to handle it and ways not to. Hey Jay, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
That's
See?
me.
Yeah, I know it is for a minute. I was thinking it was uh the other Jay.
Jason. Hmm.
Uh no, yeah. But it's funny
Yeah.
because I'm used to you, but I'm also used to Jay from the Riviera. I'm used to Jay from Thursday Night Records.
Right.
So
Well, Jay from the Redneck Riviera is me.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm
I
saying.
just
I have
changed.
two from
Right.
you, but there's another Jay, and not JJV, but there's another one who. Oh, what is he?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing him in your chat. There's another Jay.
Yes, and sometimes I'll get him. That's who I was thinking for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. That's why I got caught for a minute. I was like, wait a minute.
Hmm.
There are a lot of
Right.
Jays.
Yep.
So, but Neff
Yeah.
is a good guy, and I find it funny that he toys with the one percenters. He
Hmm.
really gets the left wing part of the internet really fired up, and they try to
Right.
cancel him. And when they find out he's a bisexual man, they don't know how to
Hmm.
handle him because he
Right.
doesn't think like they do. He's
Right.
funny as hell.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious. Like I said, I've known him for years, and uh, he's always been kind of like that. But he was more left leaning than I was until recently. He's come more centrist,
Yep.
and it's fun watching his evolution. Even though he is having to attack his own community at times.
Yep. And him and Emily,
Oh yeah,
they
they're
just
they're
are
great
happy
people.
together. Yeah. And
Hmm.
I am glad over this last probably I've known them off and on for a year, but the last 6 months
Right.
they've come around a lot more, and I've got to know them, and uh, it's just funny. And she should be getting back into her music soon.
Yeah.
So
She took a break from it because she hit me up and asked me not to promote her music because seeing reactions to her music gave her anxiety. So I quit pushing her music because of it, to be respectful to her wishes. I don't
yeah,
know if she'll be mad that I'm putting that on blast, but I think she's got a beautiful voice. I've always said from the day one of hearing her music that she had the voice of an angel,
yeah.
and I was
I
so
think when
happy
you
when they got together.
yes, and she's got great editing and mixing skills, which she does for Neff is amazing.
Yeah,
And she helps with his
she's getting
videos and
good with that.
stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. They're both very talented.
Yeah. So they make a
Have a
good
good one,
couple.
Denise.
Good
Yep.
night, Denise.
Yeah, I call
So
them the internet power couple.
no. I think there's I'm gonna argue with that a little bit. I think there's quite a few of us that are
Oh yeah,
power couples.
There are
on here.
there are a lot of power couples within the YouTube community and Twitch communities and all that, but what I get at is musically,
Yes,
they're the internet music power couple.
that they are. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, I don't ever try to promote my own channel or put toot my own horn, but uh, I love that a lot of people trust me, and when they have issues or they need help, they come to me because I do my
Yeah,
best. I try to be a good person and be there for everybody. Sometimes at my own expense.
right,
Um, but I'm definitely going to always have Tim's back, and
right,
I'm who I am. I'm blunt. I'll talk about anything with anybody, and
same.
I believe in women rights, but I believe in men rights, and I think the feminists have
Hmm.
gone too far over. They've gotten
Way
too
too
big for
far. Yep,
their frickin' britches, and that's why I
yep.
don't mind my show being about that. I don't have
Hmm.
one business telling him take my damn feminine card if this is what you bitches want. It's crazy. You can't
Right.
do the job of every man, so you do not deserve equal pay. I'm sorry. Even in the military, I don't think it's right that some of them get promoted just based on how they look.
Right.
Um, I think they get promoted and they get the same pay when you get a lot of them who won't, they're not in a combat MOS, don't go over and don't see action. So why the hell are they getting
Hmm.
paid like our men? They don't have to
Right.
do the same PT. They don't have to
Right.
carry the same weapons. They don't have to risk their life as much as a man. So I know a lot of people look differently at me for saying that. And it's like, look, there are women who could do a man's job.
Yep.
But, I was a police officer in the army and there were men next to me and there were lots of women that were in there and we were able to do the job as a man. But I know as a tanker, there was no way when gave me one of those shell casings to load up hell no, I couldn't lift that. And especially being in a sweaty, hot oven brick
Right.
of a box of a
Yep.
metal tin can with three
Hell, I
other
couldn't
dudes.
probably do that.
No, and just knowing the needs of a woman's body and no, we can't do
Yeah.
it. So if we're not, why should we be paid equally or get promoted ahead of our male counterparts because of
Yeah.
what's between our legs or what
Right.
our face looks like or even our skin color? I don't agree with
Yeah.
that.
Right. I agree with most of what you say. However, like you were also saying, is if no matter who it is, if they do the same job, they should get the same pay.
That I agree with 100%.
You know,
I
so
if we do
so
the
if
job,
you're a
we get
female
paid.
cop and you're doing the same job as a male cop, you should get the same pay. You know.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yep.
And in the early days, well, not the early days, but in the days I grew up with the military, uh, it was more like that because the females had to prove that they could do the same job as the men and hold the same standards.
Yep.
And
But
the
now they
thing I
just give it to
disagree
them.
with it is that they've laxed the requirements,
Yep.
and you have all sorts of people that are joining the military that can't do the jobs, and
Exactly.
you know, it
Tattoos on their face or their neck,
yeah, that
their hair
it,
being allowed to be colored, their long fingernails.
hmm,
How you going to
yeah, I
fire a
see it.
weapon and protect my man or my son in combat or even my daughter if you got 3-inch
Long nails,
fingernails
yeah, yeah,
and you can't grip your gun properly? You're going to worry if your nail breaks, you're going to be in pain. And then they're going to
right,
have to turn around and take care and grab your ass and get shot in the back for you. Shit.
yep, yep,
I don't want it. I think it's ridiculous. There should not be, when you put on that uniform. Now, after you take off your uniform and you're a civilian, you're retired, you get out, you shouldn't be held to those standards like a lot of people try to hold our military to.
right.
But
That
what I
no,
believe is when you put on that uniform, there is a certain image. You are supposed to be the best of the best that are guarding
hmm,
our country, and you're supposed to be leading the example. And by doing that, there shouldn't be those neck tattoos or face tattoos or your hair hanging down below your collar. I had to put my
right,
long hair up under my
right,
hat.
yep,
So, you know what? Wear the same uniforms. You don't get to tailor it. I mean, tailoring your uniform pants so that your ass looks bigger? I mean, what are you, a beauty contest queen, or are you here to defend our country and
right,
protect the person next to you?
yep. And with me working in the chow halls, I see it all the time where you got the guys coming through the line looking like they're trying to look like females, even if
Yes.
they're in uniform. And I'm like going, when was this ever acceptable?
Nope. And it's sad because then
Mm-hmm.
then you're talking about the next time what you're going to have to bring a draft in to bring back
Mm-hmm.
people who just got out of the army, or you're look at them now, they're trying to get back the soldiers that didn't want to take the shot and got out. They need
Yep.
them back because the people
Yep.
they hired during all this time, they can't do the job, so they
Right.
lost thousands and thousands of good soldiers, upper
Yeah.
ranked soldiers. Now
Yep.
they have nobody to lead these softies into
Mm-hmm.
any kind of thing. And it's like, well, you're not getting a lot of them back because they all got
Yeah.
lawsuits on your asses.
Mm-hmm. And I also feel for the drill instructors because they're having to lax their
Standards.
standards for
Yep.
what they can do for trying to tear people down to build them up to be good soldiers. And it's like, no, that was all implemented for a reason.
Yeah.
Yelling at you and knife handing you and getting all up in your face and stuff was there for a reason. It was
Yep.
to make you understand that if you were in a combat situation that you wouldn't be able to say, oh, time out, I need to reload.
Hey,
No,
Loki.
you have to fight and
And
get
you
on
don't
with it.
break. You don't start
Right.
crying because,
Exactly.
the enemy. Here's what's
Hey,
funny is
Loki.
that uh drill sergeants today, I mean, all they have to, if
Mm-hmm.
they go up to somebody, all they have to do is say, my feelings are hurt. And the drill
Yeah.
sergeants have to be nice to them. Tim has drills, privates. They're not
Right.
privates anymore. Some are now what rank Tim was when he got out. But
Mm-hmm.
they'll hit him
Yep.
up on IG or on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be like, after everything that you taught us in basic and based off of what your experiences that you shared with us, we
Mm-hmm.
feel that's why we came back alive.
Yeah.
And he still has a lot of his privates that reach out to him and stuff. And it just makes him feel good. And today a drill
Yeah.
sergeant get hemmed up and go to jail because he got in a private's face.
Yeah. I know a
It's
guy
crazy.
that was a drill sergeant that got out because, he said in private discords with me that he felt that all they were doing was training these kids to go and die. They weren't
Yep.
training them to actually fight and win.
Yeah. Because they're so afraid that they'll get a lawsuit or somebody will call them a name, and they're being allowed to. It's just like in the real world. So you could
Mm-hmm.
be sued over a bad name. When did we
Yep.
have a bunch of pussies? I mean, come on.
Right. Not to mention, our country was founded on the Constitution of free speech, uh, being able to own weapons, freedom of assembly, but freedom of assembly was in designated areas, not just anywhere you wanted to. You had to be in a designated area. And everybody has gone and tried to pervert all that. And the censorship that's gone around is mind boggling
Yeah. You know
how
what I
anybody's
think?
letting that go.
I think there's a lot of problem with the drama that's on the YouTube. And let's be real, these are some of the softest candy asses who don't want to
Hmm.
work. And when
Yep.
2020 came, they got to realize, oh crap, I get all this free stuff from the Obama era up.
Hmm.
They, excuse me, they didn't want to work anymore. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
My meds are kicking in because, like I said, my throat, I think I'm
Right.
catching what the baby had. But
Understand.
they uh they got used to getting everything free from Obama era up, and as soon as COVID hit, oh, they loved how the Democrats were just giving them stimulus checks and getting to stay at home and get the unemployment checks and get the workman comp and all this
Yep.
crap and never have to work, and they could just sit on
Hmm.
their ass, do the minimum amount, say you have a mental illness or say that you don't feel good or your vagina hurts, and here, let's pay you
Yeah,
disability.
I knew a kid that fresh out of high school got put on social security disability because he had ADHD. And I'm like, that to me boggles my mind because you can actually go and work. You just have an issue with focus.
Do you know there were
But
women getting there was a couple women that had
Mm-hmm.
hysterectomies in my unit.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to get out and they got 100% from the VA because their rights to
Wow.
have children was taken from them. Now you have to
Wow.
sign consent before a hysterectomy is given.
Uh-huh.
And they actually use that to try to get benefits from the VA. To me, this
That's
is ridiculous. I know somebody who
that
broke
is.
their toe and it didn't get corrected. And because of the surgeries and stuff, yeah, it did mess up her toe. But she took a lot of depression because she felt because she couldn't wear high heels, she didn't feel like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up getting 50% just off of being depressed because she couldn't wear high heels. So it made her feel less
Wow.
than a woman.
That's mind-boggling.
It
And
is.
look, if you want to hit the link and hop up here, feel free.
Hope
But
you're
yeah,
doing good, Loki. Haven't seen you in
the
a
same.
while.
Yeah, that what Loki said, that's one of the big things with freedom of assembly that they don't really even teach anymore because they took civics classes out of high school. I
Some are
remember
taking
when,
math.
yeah, I
It just
mean,
blows my mind that you
mm-hmm,
say that, especially in the lower income communities, you
mm-hmm,
want them to graduate better and with their peers and have more of the lower income communities graduate, but you making them dumber. You're dumbing them down so
yep,
that when that happens, they're not going to be able to still compete in today's world. So you gave them a high school education or a diploma. What did you do for them? Not enough to get them into college. You
right,
should Everybody should want to work as hard as they can to be the best that they can be.
yep,
I'm
that's
tired of hearing some of these criminals say, "Oh, they're a liberal, they're sheltered. I can't help it that they didn't go." No, you were dumb. You decided and lazy. You chose a life of
mm-hmm,
crime instead of
right,
hard work to get what you
mm-hmm,
wanted. You thought it was better
yep,
to rip off people who did it. I don't feel sorry for you.
right. And
It
what
just
Loki
makes
said
you
that,
dumb.
and what Loki said that highlights right there is, in a capitalist society, we should be celebrating people that do hard work and start their own businesses
Yep,
because when you start your own business, you employ more people and you end up building something that helps the community.
exactly. So I just don't understand this lazy gimme, gimme, gimme. It really it boggles me that there are so many people that believe in the give me movement instead of
Hmm.
earn your movement.
Welcome,
Oh,
Loki.
hi Jay. Hey Lori.
Hey Loki.
What's
Appreciate
up?
you inviting me up.
Well, welcome to the Boredom Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything under the sun because we're
Yeah,
bored.
we've already went from one end to the other already.
Yeah, I kind of noticed. I was like, I've only been here for a few minutes, but I was like, oh, well, this is good. I like this.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I always loved about doing something like this or being in Discord on voice channels with people is talking and having conversations.
Yeah, I avoid Discord personally.
Yeah, me too.
Used to be in it on a gaming community, and oh my goodness, was
Well,
it a toxic place?
gaming communities can be toxic anyway,
Well,
whether it's
fair.
Discord or
Not
anywhere.
just gaming, a lot of
Hmm.
discords, backstabbing, and yeah, I did one. Tim hasn't been in any, and I learned from that one. It was I'd never do it again.
Well, I mainly hang out in Alpha Tyler's Discord. I have a couple others that I'm members of, like Neffs and the Asylum.
Yeah, I've
Um,
been thinking getting a pass to Neffs. That's-
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, he's good people.
oh
We were
yeah,
talking about him earlier.
Yep, we did.
His rants are freaking hilarious. I love them.
oh yes. And the more of his videos I watch, the more I like the guy. So it's like, okay.
Right. I've known Neff as long as I've known Dan, HBR, and Jacksonville Joe and Holly.
Oh man.
And yeah, and we all used to hang out a lot in Discords and talk and everything. And it used to be a fun place. And it just kind of, we all ended up going our separate ways for a while.
Oh, well, these things happen.
Yeah. And Dan's been on his, stream sniping bit, so.
Yeah, I get it. I just
right.
I can't stand it.
I'm the same way. I'll go in and I'll hang out for a little while, and then I go watch another video somewhere else just because I can't take it for as long of a period of time as he puts into it.
I mean, to be quite honest, like I say, I kind of understand a lot of the problems,
right?
But I can't stand Mokon's voice personally. After about 5 minutes, it just starts like chewing at a nerve on the back of my neck, so I gotta go.
Well, he boggles my mind at sometimes in how he twists things to make himself the victim.
Yeah, I've said it before. Cognitive dissociation.
Mm-hmm.
The reality he lives in is not the same one that everybody else lives in.
Exactly.
The boy needs to go to a mental farm, plain and simple.
Yep.
I just miss, like, when we first started, it was strictly, we just were blunt. We talked sex, we talked rock and roll, we talked about anything under the sun that just popped into our minds. And that's how we began, Loki, you and me, even from the very beginning. And I miss that we had to get past it. We kind of.
Well, with the rules of YouTube, we would have gotten clipped.
Well, I've been researching.
Pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, as long as we don't cuss in the first, 10 minutes, and we're not monetized. So
how long does that ever work out for us?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, there's ways around everything. Like, for example, with Alpha Tyler, when he goes live, he's playing music that's uncopyrighted, and he doesn't go live until he has people in his chat for a while, so he gets through that 10-minute mark before he even goes live. So that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, and I mean that is smart to a certain degree. It's probably why Fusion has his intro set up like he does too.
Yep. I'm gonna have to mute. I got a train coming. Y'all keep talking.
Oh, we're used to trains with Tim. You didn't have to mute. We've had transmissions being built on our lives. We've had semi trucks with the jack brakes squealing the whole time. Sen making a lot of noise when he's live, when he used to be on our panels. We've had the loudest panels, I think, in YouTube, Loki.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how well they came through, but there was gunshots on one of our lives at some point.
Yeah. Those were on your end though. That was your end.
Yeah, that was the neighbors.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're the crazy one with the gunshots. So,
well, hey, in my defense, that was, like I say, that was the neighbors taking out some coyotes. Granted, pretty much in my front yard, but whatever.
Yeah. You can guarantee if there are loud car noises, it's car holes. If there's gunshots or wild animals, it's Loki. If it's the train, the dogs, or sex talk, it's coming from me. So either way, we have our own unique flavor flav going on wherever it could be. Oh man, I'm catching what my grandson had.
Yeah, I live literally like 2 houses from the train tracks. So when they're blowing their horn, I have to mute because I don't like to blow everybody's eardrums, especially if they're using headphones or what have you, especially being late at night.
Okay, so you don't like to blow people's eardrums. You just like to blow people.
No.
You have to be very specific when you're saying that now.
You have to be very cautious talking around Lori, period.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get put on a soundboard.
As I hate to tell you, Carhole speaking. I'm sorry to interrupt this for just a moment, but Carhole, speaking of sound clips, about the 1:19:30 mark over at Stacks Live today. Oh baby, oh baby.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah,
I don't care about clipping me for soundboards, but I try to minimize what I'll end up getting clipped for, but I don't care.
Yeah. Well, hey, you might wind up with one like I got out there right now that's been circulating
Right,
for
right.
what,
I
Look,
feel you.
5 months, 6 months.
yeah, sometimes we like to just set other people up, but then Loki walks right into other people's. We're trying to
Mm-hmm.
keep him out of it. We'll set something up, and then Loki
Mm-hmm.
will respond, and I'll be like, "Damn, Loki, I was trying to take the heat off you. Why did you answer that?" And he's like, "Damn it!
Oh,
As soon as I said it, I knew it."
Right.
well, hey, Denise.
So,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I tend to speak without thinking sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I suck at public speaking to start with. So, in this environment, it feels just like the three of us and a couple of friends in chat, which pretty much it
Right.
is. But,
Right.
you get 40, 50 people in a chat.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
it's not such a small audience.
Right. Well, that's one of the reasons why I did this is to give the night owls something to do.
Oh, yeah.
Chatting and everything. Because before my injury, I was working late nights, and when I'd get off work, at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's nobody live. So I figured, it would be a good thing to do.
well, that's
But
when we were doing ours, but
mm-hmm,
with the holidays and everything going on, and
mm-hmm,
we've all had so much going on, and with the grandkids, and I had
yeah,
sinus infection a couple weeks ago. I just haven't fully recovered, and now getting the flu from the baby. So, and with everything else, I just haven't felt like going live myself at night.
right, right.
So,
Yeah, that's kind of been me too. As I
I,
said,
I, yeah,
lot more
I,
going on.
I feel you all on that, and like I said, I also wanted it to have an alternative for the drama streams that have been going on.
Yeah.
well, I told you when you brought the idea to me, Jay, that, if I wasn't live and I knew you were alive and I was awake, I'd always stop by and show you support. You know
I
that.
appreciate it. Yep, I appreciate that. I've been
Well,
also trying to promote it too, so that we could get more people in.
Yeah, it takes time. It
Right,
does.
right.
So,
And then if anybody pops in that I don't know, the more that you're texting in the chat and I get to know you, the more likely I'll be to let y'all up. But I only let people up that I know right now because there is those drama people that want to try to just cause trouble. So
well, the porn bombings picked back up all of a sudden. You got other
right,
outside
yeah, be
channels.
sure you know how to put a front screen up.
Yeah.
that's
Don't,
why
you're right though.
I
If you
don't.
don't know somebody, don't let them up, period.
Right.
So, but Loki is a chronic porn bomber, so you got to be careful. He likes to porn bomb himself.
Well, I mean,
And Mandy, I will be making you a mod. So keep typing in the chat after I end the live so that I can hop over to YouTube and make you a mod because while I'm on my phone, I can't switch between them.
Man.
And that goes for anybody else that I know that's around. I understand if you have to get sleep or go to work or whatever, but I'll try to go ahead and retroactive
yeah,
afterward.
from the YouTube side, you can actually just go back after the live is ended
Mm-hmm.
and click on their names and do what you got to do.
Right.
It was nice seeing Elena G though, because she hasn't been around a lot lately.
Yeah, she's been busy with work because she's in the medical field and she's been putting in a lot of overtime.
That's what she said. Because I was like, "Damn, Elena, where you been?" And that, yes, I know that she's been working, and so
Yeah, she's
I
good
know her
people.
from Jaw and Artie's. She's artistic too.
Yeah,
So
I'm in her Discord also, but it's mainly for updates on independent artists dropping music because she's got tons of channels in there for artists whenever they drop music. So that's where I find a lot of independent music.
Yeah.
I turn her on to stuff that I'm into, and she turns me on to stuff that I don't know.
Spreading it around.
Yep. That's what it's all about: showing love and support.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I only really follow a few artists, Stax and Rila and Outlaw Nation, and those are pretty much the only ones I'll openly promote unless somebody really catches my eye.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been on YouTube for almost 5 years now, and I've got a good long list of independent artists that I follow. I even have a couple of playlists of music of independent artists I like that, like, whenever I'm doing stuff, I'll go ahead and put on and listen to.
Sorry.
I thought it was his butt cheeks.
You can hop in here if you want.
It hurts my throat. Do not make me laugh. Oh.
As long as it's only laughter hurting your throat.
Well, it's not. I've already started taking my vitamin D. I
wasn't gonna say shit.
No, I got my orange juice, and I told Tim to pick me up some Emergen-C, that vitamin C.
Yep,
that's good stuff.
And, so they didn't have any, so he's going to pick it up tomorrow. But he brought home the orange juice, and I got the hot tea with honey for my throat. And I noticed I didn't feel like eating dinner too much tonight, and the smell of it when I was frying up the burgers for Tim just kind of made me queasy. I'm like, yeah, it's coming.
I get you, and I get you too, Carl. Anytime that I'm live though, and you want to hop in, just hit the link.
Damn, Jay wants everybody to hit that link. That's code.
And anybody that I know.
Ooh.
I'm friendly.
Ooh, damn. As long as he knows you, he'll spread it all around, guys.
Mm-hmm. I spread the love everywhere I can.
He'd like to spread the toes, but one is gone, so
right.
He can't spread as much.
Yep.
Megan asks, is it the same foot as Meg's, or do we got one on each side now?
I'm not sure if it's the same foot as hers. I know that it's a different toe, because me and her have talked about it behind the scenes.
So what'd you have to cut yours off and sell? What was yours sold for?
I don't know. I ended up having a blister that got infected, and they ended up taking my right foot big toe.
Oh, see, Meg sold hers for shits and giggles. So what did you sell yours for?
Giggles and shits, I guess.
All righty.
But yeah, I sent my paperwork in to get disability from work, and the doctor's office says I'm going to be out of work until at least February. Healing.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, because the infection got into the bone a little bit, so they had to take part of the bone at the ball of the foot and then the whole big toe, and they only had enough skin to sew up 3/4 of the way, and then there's an open wound at the top that's healing.
Now, so you're trying to apply for disability for those 4 months or unemployment?
I'm going through work because it's union.
Okay.
And they'll probably take it out of my pension fund.
I'm really surprised they didn't graft the extra skin off your ass or something.
I was surprised they did that too. They didn't do that too.
Now, did they tell you they left it open to drain it, maybe?
No, they told me they didn't have enough skin to sew up, so they left it open. That was the official word that they gave me.
I mean, it will grow back, but man, that's going to take a lot of time.
Yep. Because I had the surgery done like the beginning of October, Here it is in December. I'm out, and I'll be out until at least February, if not a little bit later than that. They're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
I go once a week to wound care for them to clean it and debris it and all that. And
Yeehaw.
Yep. Yep, Mandy, I'm 9 toes J.
We got a couple 9 toes in the community now, Mandy. We got a couple one leggers. We got a couple
Mhm.
9 toes. We just got some broken down people.
Yeah. The older you get, the more stuff that happens.
They just fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, as long as certain parts of the body don't fall off, you're doing good.
Yeah, it hasn't fallen. Other parts haven't fallen off yet, but give it time.
Oh, well, disuse don't help either. Let me tell you.
Right.
I'm glad we're still in the 70s and 80s. I can't believe everybody that's getting snow already and
already.
Yeah,
it's December.
See, we're not used to even winter before the end of January. So for you guys, I mean, we had to turn the air on Friday. That's how damn hot it was Friday for us.
Right, Mandy? Yeah, it's 42 degrees here tonight.
Oh,
it's 20 here and snowing.
You can keep that. That's why I live down south.
Now, see, we were 70 today, but we are only 40 right now. But it's not for us, it's cold because we were 70 in sunshine and out in t-shirts today.
Yep.
So for us, 40 is cold. But if we turn the heat on, we'll be roasting by 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, we have a lot of people with no teeth. This is crazy.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, it's like every time the weather drops below 40, I start saying I need to find an attorney to sue Mother Nature for breach of contract.
Well, I keep finding it funny that the colder it gets, we're blaming global warming. It's like, well, where are we not warming up? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind if it stays 119 year round. I'm okay with what our summers were, because you know what? I could always cool down in a cold bath, ice water, or in my pool.
Damn.
Yeah.
29. Damn. That's too. Yeah, that's freaking too cold.
And Bernie Sanders with his hands in his own pockets. That's hilarious.
Look, he was down to negative like 40s last winter. And I was just like, I'm sitting here at 45 freezing at night, and he's at negatives. And I'm like, fudge that.
Oh, yeah. Worst we got locally was negative 53. But about 30 miles, 15 to 20 miles away from me, it hit negative 86.
Jesus.
And that's before the wind chill factor.
Wow. I would only have one winter there, and my ass would have packed up and hit the cowboy trails, and my ass would have went down south.
Yeah, I've lived all over. I was born in Minot, North Dakota, so
I
know the cold. Yeah, I know the cold. That's why I live down here.
Yeah. My parents. He moved to Wisconsin, and it got to the point when he hit 60, he's like, fudge this, I'm moving down to Arizona. And now he lives in Arizona, and he's in heaven.
Yep. Because I get joking with Jiminator Jay and the other Canadians about them having like a month of summer where we have like a month of winter.
Yeah. That's what we have, is usually 3 to 6 weeks of cold only down here in the South, in Louisiana. Sometimes we'll have the full 6 weeks, but most of the time we'll get hit sometime in December or January until the end of February. But by March, it won't usually be past the second weekend that we can start opening and cleaning the pool and putting the solar covers on.
Yeah. Being here in Biloxi, Mississippi, anytime that it gets cold, we just start everybody starts losing their minds. And if it ever snows, we'll get like a millimeter of snow. Everything shuts down for 24 hours until it melts.
Yeah. It's like the rain. People cannot drive down here in the rain.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess because they're not
that
used to snow. When it rains, things just close up. I swear to God, I've never saw such people afraid to drive in rain
right.
and get
Oh,
a little dusting. We had some dusting of snow. Was it last winter? That 100 year, the winter before, it was 100 year winter storm, and we actually had like enough to coat the ground for a couple hours before the heat in the ground melted. But people were crazy, car accidents all over.
Oh yeah, when it rains
yep.
down here, the thing that drives me nuts is people that as soon as they hit a puddle, they want to brake, and it's like you're not supposed to do that, dumbass.
The
Supposed to
best
ride
Christmas,
through the puddle and brake afterwards, pumping your
yeah,
brakes just to dry them off.
yeah. What's the
Mm.
And
best
car,
Christmas movie?
yeah,
Peanuts.
Die Hard.
mm, Christmas story.
Yeah, we talked about that. That's the same as
Yep,
Tim's. No,
yeah.
Now, see, we had a 100-year winter back in 1976 here,
Ooh,
and yeah, there were
I was
houses that
5.
went missing. Houses got literally covered.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah,
I said,
my parents said that the year I was born, 71 in North Dakota, the snow was so deep they had to climb out a second story window to go and get the car so that my mom could go to the hospital to have me.
yeah. Oh, damn. I say, yeah. I said we were cutting holes into people's second floor. Well, there were 2-story houses, but we were cutting holes into them through the eaves of the roof so
Uh-huh.
they could get in and out.
Yeah. The only time that happens here is during hurricanes.
I can see that.
Yeah. They've
Yeah.
just started rebuilding along the beach line here, houses on stilts
Mm,
because of Hurricane Katrina wiped a bunch of shit out.
hmm I get their idea there, but are the stilts really that helpful?
I wonder the same thing. We haven't had a bad hurricane since to test that out, but you know, I'm kind of curious to see how they hold up during a hurricane.
Yeah. Just seems like it either get washed out or blown over a whole lot easier than the house structure would, but
Right?
you're
Be-
saving your
be-
furniture for another 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
because during the hurricane, it's the water push from the hurricane that wipes out the houses along the beach, and then also the wind too. So you have to worry about both of those.
Yep.
But
Oh.
Well, now that you do have people, Jay, I told you I was going to come up for a minute. I'm glad Loki was here and I got to be on a panel with him. It's been a while, but I'm
Yes.
going to head out and I wish you
yep,
a great stream. I don't know. I know last time you didn't stay for long, but
Mm.
yeah.
I will talk.
I usually
Go ahead.
stay live just as long as I got people.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. All right.
I
Well, you
hate to
guys
be.
all take care and you guys have a great night. And
Have a
I'll
good
see you
one, buddy.
guys later on today
Thank you.
sometime. All right. Good night, all.
Have a good one. Night.
Oh.
Good night, Loki. Good night,
Have,
everybody in the chat.
have a good one.
But yeah, and anybody have questions, just type them in the chat or hop on panel if I know you.
Oh,
We can
man.
talk about anything.
I hate to be a party pooper, but it's about that time for me, too.
I
I
feel
said,
you.
I knew I wouldn't be able to hop up for long, but it
Yeah,
went
I
by a lot
appreciate you.
quicker. Oh, not a
I
problem, man.
appreciate it.
Enjoyed coming up and talking to you. I'll do it again.
Yeah, all right, appreciate it.
All right,
Anytime
man.
you want to, just hit me up.
You betcha. Have a good one, Jake.
Mandy, I want anybody that'll hop up to talk because I tend to end up feeling like I don't know what to talk about when I don't have somebody to bounce ideas off of. Yes, he does, Carl. Yes, he does. I appreciate those that have joined the panel. Lori's World is her YouTube channel. If you want to go check her out, and I don't know if I think Loki's got a channel and Carhol's got a channel, and if y'all want to check them out, I appreciate y'all. Any questions y'all have, you can go ahead and type them in the chat if you want. I'm an open book. I'll talk about just about anything. As everybody can see. Yeah, shout out to Loki for getting 300. I'm not sure how many people I've got as followers, but I appreciate everyone that comes out and hangs out and cool. Hey, I don't mind talking about religion. I was born and raised Catholic. We appreciate you too, Loki. Like I said, I'll talk about just about anything. Like I said, I was born and raised Catholic. I'm still Catholic, but I tend to follow my own belief system. Have a good one, Loki. But yeah, we've have good streams when people show up. Hopefully, we start getting more and more people. I'm a night owl, so I tend to go live late nights. And since we're down to one viewer, I'll give it another 20, 30 minutes before I shut it down, unless we get more people in. Yeah, we got 3 now. Welcome to anybody that's lurking. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, but that's what also makes it fun. And talk about the potato famine. Well, I don't know much about that. Although I do have family that's Scotch and Irish, so my grandmother came over on the boat from Scotland, and my grandfather says that his family was from Ireland, so I love getting to know people and talk to people and finding out about them. Makes your worldview a lot bigger. Yeah, a lot of people did die during that famine, but we don't have to worry about that now. Yeah, well, most Americans like to know their heritage and figure out where they're from and all that. Yeah, history is very interesting. I like learning about stuff and people and cultures and all that. Having lived in Japan for 2.5 years made me appreciate other cultures and how they think and all. But like I said, any questions y'all have, feel free to ask. I'll talk about what I know. Yeah, with American heritage, we always try to figure out where we're from and the culture we're from and the background. So yeah, that's why the 23andMe and all that kind of happened, was people wanting to know where they're from and figure out their background and all. Well, it's because, we're a melting pot of different people and different cultures, so we like to know where we're from and what made us who we are. Yeah, in Japan, everything's a lot more expensive too, so you would go broke, but there's always ways to supplement your income. Like when my parents were over there, they used to teach conversational English to Japanese. My dad worked for, well, he was military, but he also had a side job of teaching conversational English to businessmen. So, because the way they teach English, they teach formal English to them, and they don't understand what slang means, what slang terms are. So conversational English is teaching them how to understand like what having a ball means, because they literally think, "Oh, wait, you're giving birth to a ball?" And you're like, "No, you have to explain that to them." That's cool, Mandy. But then again, you know where you're from, so it's like we were taught growing up. You want to learn history because those that don't are doomed to repeat it. So we tend to learn our history of who we are and how we came to be, where we're from, and also we know what not to do in the future. And Japanese culture is very fascinating. They usually have 2 to 3 generations living under the same roof, which Americans have started doing now, mainly because you can't afford to live on your own. Another little known tidbit about living in Japan is you cannot own a car unless you have proof of a parking spot. Yeah, we don't like to talk about that, Mandy, because they're idiots. No, actually, it's nationally in Japan. To own a car, you have to have proof of a parking spot. But if you live out in the rural areas, it's easier to have proof of a parking spot. So the big cities, yeah, when you buy a house, you have to have it in there that you will, have a parking spot to own a car. True, Mandy, but at the same time, the platform doesn't like you to talk about that kind of stuff. So I kind of steer away from talks about idiots. Plus, also with Japanese culture, the cities are so compact that you don't necessarily need to own a car to get around. They have, bikes and buses and all trains and all sorts of stuff for transportation. So yeah, they also have most like apartments have underground parking garages for the cars, and they assign like one spot per apartment. So, but it's a beautiful area. Yeah, no, that wouldn't work in America. We love our cars too much. Plus, a lot of area to cover, so. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Well, most bigger cities have public transportation, but the smaller cities and the medium cities like mine have public transportation. It's just not that reliable. Like we have city buses here, but they're supposed to run like every 30 minutes, I want to say, and sometimes they break down or they don't make it in time. But yeah, we got 24-hour casinos here and 24-hour bars here, so. Yeah, I mean, along the Gulf Coast, our public transit goes from city to city, but because of how widespread it is, it's kind of hard. But you could do it. It's just it takes time. Yeah, here they keep the public transportation pretty clean, but again, we're not big cities, so we have the people that can do it, and they do clean the buses and stuff. So. And then you also have the people with their hygiene too. I wish I had a computer that I could get on and play y'all some music and stuff, but or videos or whatever from people, but I don't have that capability on here on my phone. Maybe one day I'll end up getting a laptop that I can do that with. It'll just end up having to be whenever I have more people too. Yeah, it kind of is, but like I said, it depends on where you're at. Like I said, it's a fine line. Some people see public transportation as a means to an end, and other people see it as, only poor people use it. And then people tend to use cabs instead of buses because it's more reliable. So there's all that. But tonight's been fun. I think I'm gonna probably shut it down soon since we only got the two of y'all. I appreciate everybody that came out. Like I said, y'all want to go and support everybody that showed up. Actually, the cabs aren't that expensive. It just depends on how far you have to go. If you're going over 10 miles, then it tends to get a little expensive for a cab, but it's not too bad. I'm probably not going to sleep right away. When I shut it down, I'm gonna be probably surfing the net. But we only got the two of y'all in here. I'll give it a little bit longer to see if anybody else shows up or not. But have a good one, Carhole. I'm gonna give it probably another 5 or 6 minutes before I shut it down. So if y'all got any other questions or comments or whatever, you can all say stuff. I hope y'all enjoyed. Been live for an hour and 25 minutes, so I'm more of a talk about what people say than actually having conversation of my own. That's why I enjoy when people jump up on the panel with me to talk. I appreciate Lori and Loki for hopping up. But I guess I'll shut it down and y'all have a good one. And be looking for whenever I go live again. I'll talk to y'all later.